What is going on, everybody? What is the good word? This is your man's the one, and you already know he is Big Storm, and this is the state of basketball. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, sir? How's your week been? I know you've been. Yes.
Oh, go ahead, everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How's your week been? I know you've been struggling a little bit, but just want to make sure you and your fam are good. So, how was your week?
The week was up and down, health wise, being touched a little bit by this plague, and you being like super extra precautions, and it still touches you. That kind of afflicted us a little bit more so that it just damaged all of our weekend plans. We like to have a little Super Bowl little thing, throw a little spread out there. And then plus this weekend was sectionals for high school basketball. My daughter plays up at Carmel. So, it was sectional time and I didn't get to be there, all that crazy stuff. But I digress. But we had a great weekend. We had a great Super Bowl show anyway, so we had fun. What about you, bro?
This week's been pretty good. Just getting ready for this new job. I got a welcome packet, which is new to me. Just gave me a welcome box, like welcome to the team, which was new, but I'll take it. My son's trying to grow up a little. Got him a little gig, and excited about that. Got accepted to one of the colleges that he applied for. So so far, so good. So far, so good.
Sounds like a win-win to all of us as well, so to speak. But man, we got a great show today. It's going to be really fun. But before we get into that and bring our special guest in off the bench, we got to talk to a couple people about what they do for us and what they can do for you. So first off, we're going to start with our good man Shawn Nugent over at Talk to Rockstar Realties. If you want to buy or sell a new home, make sure you get in touch with our guy Shawn Nugent. He'll get you all niced up over at 317-503-8322. And from there, we are going to talk about our good friends, Zachary, over at Elite Performance. If you're trying to get that body in elite performance shape, go ahead and get in touch with those guys. They'll get you all niced up. And where do we go from here? We're going to talk about our good friends over at Aries at Academy up at I think they're located up in Noblesville. Talk to those guys about a great new thing they got going on with vision training for your sport to give you an extra little edge. So make sure you guys talk to them. So, bro, I know you're a Pacer fan.
Yes, since the 80s. Talking about Vern Fleming. Boys don't know about Vern the veteran.
I know about Vern from the Y. Vern and Vic from the Y. That'd be about it. But hey, I was a Pacer fan long before, and then I left and I went to follow Magic and them guys over in LA, and I've been there for a while. But I'm gonna tell you exactly what brought me back where I cheer for both of them at equal value. And it's because of my wife. She's like, oh no, we can ready to watch these games, bro. And that's where I got kind of back invested, not really invested, but back, listening to my guy who we got next up to chat with us today. He's the broadcast guy. I remember watching him play a couple years here at the Pacers. But listening to him and his how he tells things from the team and from the fan perspective on the broadcast, got to like to listen to his input. And then come to find out, my daughter go to the same high, like at one point went to the same high school and they play ball together. So what a connection. So it was pretty awesome. We've had him on the show before. So now we got him on the basketball show. So further ado, we'll bring y'all into Mr. Eddie Gill. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, good people? I appreciate y'all having me on here today.
Also, we appreciate you giving us the time.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Well, because I know it's right in the middle of the season, so it was like, we got a good break, got a 2-day break. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, because these games coming fast and furious. They're jamming these 72 in Obviously, we're on the first half of it right now. Actually, still waiting on the on that second half season scheduled to be released. But this first half is they're at it.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into a little Pacer talk, let's talk about a little bit about your background. A lot of people, know you, from the Pacers, but you've played in what, 6 NBA teams?
Yeah, more than I can count, more than I can get on one hand. And 12 seasons, and a handful of NBA teams, played overseas a little bit. So I've been all over the place. Basketball has afforded me a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different cultures I was able to see. Obviously, playing at the highest level in the NBA was a great deal, great blessing for me. Enjoyed every second of it.
Awesome. Well, I did notice that it wasn't like a major college or university that you went to. It looks like you're part of the JUCO scene here, because I played JUCO ball. My man played JUCO ball. So it's like a small little clique we got here.
Yes, sir. I definitely started on the JUCO scene. Started out at College of Eastern Utah. I don't think it's JUCO anymore, actually. I think they moved up to maybe D2 or NAIA, something like that. But definitely while I was there, it was JUCO. And if you guys know about JUCO, it's a grind. It's you go out there and it's definitely a grind. You got to go out there and get it done in terms of how you work. Guys, everybody's trying to get out of there. You know what I mean? And I play some D League ball, and I liken it to that also. It's a similar perspective in terms of trying to get to that next level. JUCO was just trying to get to D1 ball, and now it's the G League. I keep trying to keep on saying D League because but I haven't said that. It's been a G League for some time, but when I was there, it was the D League. But anyway, guys are trying to get to the next level, but you got to figure out a way to get 15 guys all on the same page and trying to accomplish the same goal.
Definitely. That JUCO scene, you only got 2 years to do it.
Make it happen.
Right. And a lot of times you may not have the same equipment as your D1, so you really got to go out there and do it all on your own. So I definitely can understand where you're coming from that perspective.
Yeah, straight internal fortitude, internal motivation. Survival of the fittest. All the cliches applied.
Yeah, man, because them 10-hour rides, man, and the minivans
on the bus.
Yeah, man, you never forget those times. I will say that my freshman year was one of my funnest basketball experiences. We had a great group, and obviously we were winning. So you're gonna have a good experience there. In most cases, we ended up being 28-5, and won a bunch of games, and it was a really good, talented group. So that always helps when you're winning. But yeah, those bus rides, you don't forget those.
Nah, bus rides and sack lunches.
Yes, sir.
You learn a lot.
So, okay, now you played overseas for a couple seasons, and I saw that you've been all the way over to Moscow. Now, explain how you can tell what the differences is, or the more advantages that these younger guys have, or these younger players now have, of going overseas than when we did at our age. Because I think you're just a couple ticks a little younger than I am.
Yeah. So Moscow was definitely one of the places. Man, I think obviously with COVID area things has changed for everything, but I think the opportunities are still there. I think it's actually with anything you hope that there's some improvement. Back in the day it was cases where so depending on the team where you were at, you didn't know if you were going to get paid. You didn't know if you were going to get paid on time. Some of those types of things were going on for sure back in the day. I think FIBA has come in and put a lot of rules and regulations in to hold these teams, these teams' feet to the fire in terms of contractual agreements, making sure they hold up their end. So I think that's definitely better. So you just like I said, with anything else, you hope there's some improvements and advancements, and I think they have in terms of international basketball. Not to mention just the skill set for everybody. I think it's gotten tremendously better with guys working on the game year round, trainers, and so on and so forth.
Speaking of the training thing, it looks like you got two things going on. Like you've had the training thing all out for a little bit of time now, but you got something new going on with IPS, or the Indianapolis Public School System, called Achieve. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
That's right. Yeah, I'm super fired up about this one. This is you know, so I got a real passion with working with the youth. I've done it for a number of years. Even while I was playing, the NBA does a good job of trying to get back into the community with different camps, clinics, so on and so forth. I've always had a passion with that. So I started All Out, as you referenced. But this Achieve is a different program. It's a youth development program, trying to get into the inner city, you know, and afford, you know, some of these kids with access, opportunities, conversations, just really trying to get them engaged in different opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't. Get them engaged in conversations and being able to see life from a different perspective. So I've had 3 sessions up to this point, in which, unfortunately, they're virtual, in which I get with this group from Positive Supports Academy, and really just trying to talk to them about different things that are going on. We called it Achieve, just by virtue of, hey, you know, where I want to meet the kids wherever they are, establish certain goals, establish certain habits, and look to achieve something, whatever that is, whether that's graduation, whether that's a homework assignment, whether that's a career endeavor that they'd like to, you know, pursue at some point in life, collegiate aspirations, whatever that may be. We just really mapping out a process to where we're going to get them there, and they themselves will be accountable, be able to own it, and really have real confidence in what they're doing moving forward.
Awesome. Are you still accepting applications? How, if one wants to be a part of that, how would they do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So ultimately, long-term goal is to grow the program where there's more of me, right? I have more, you know, positive individuals looking to create a positive impact in the community. As of right now, it's just me. My schedule is fairly busy as it is right now. So right now I'm just working with this school independently, but definitely looking to grow it and work with other schools as well. I'm open to any conversation right now. To answer your question, that would just be to contact me, and we have the conversation and see where it goes, in terms of what that demand may be, what the scheduling may look like, what the need is, all of those types of things. I'm not turning down any conversations, but in terms of full-blown commitment to adding additional schools or additional participants, that's where the conversation lies.
Well, I can tell you this. I know BWSPORTS1, we have always been in trying to rebuild our communities. And right now, the state of Indiana is our community, regardless if you are in Carmel, you're doing this with the Indianapolis Public Schools, is regardless of whatever community that we come from within this state. We are one community, and we've always been about rebuilding and helping build our community as best as we can. So I can tell you this, speaking for myself, I'm sure I speak for Storm, and I know I speak for Dan, who you've met before. Yep. Hey, man, we're on board. Whatever you need us to do, we can help out with that. Guaranteed.
No, I appreciate that, because like I said, ideally, and the vision is to really grow it. You know, just being able to provide some positive influences in some of these kids' lives. Had a conversation, actually, it's just about every Monday morning is what I'm doing. I had a conversation with a group yesterday morning, and one of the young ladies that's involved in it, because this is boys and girls, she, you know, I could tell she was kind of down in the dumps and trying to, you know, really just engage her without beating up on her and prying stuff out of her. Every time I did ask a question or try to, you know, break some of that ice, she just kept on responding, "It is what it is." And that was really disheartening to me, in terms of at that moment, she feels like there was nothing more that she could do. There's no other solutions. It just is what it is. And she was just going to, you know, wherever that took her, she was going to live with. And that breaks my heart. So definitely. Again, it's a work in progress. It's something that I'm committed to. And I'll give you one other quick story about another kid in that same group. Last week, it was my first session with that group. And the kid, he asked me, he said, you know, we've had, you know, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing here. He said, you know, we've had a number of different people come in and say they're going to do this, you know, this, that, and the other, whatever it may be. And they come in once or twice, or we see them once or twice. And then after that, you know, that's it. So my question to you is, will we see you anymore? Will you be here? Are you committed to this? Basically, that, like, again, I'm paraphrasing, and again, broke my heart, right? Not because I'm not committed, because I'm 100% in. Like, there's nothing stopping me from being a part of it, but the fact that that's his reality. Someone popping in and out of his life and disappointing him, and those types of things. Having said that, we want to make sure that we hold them accountable, make sure they bring something to the table and engage and so on and so forth. But the fact that that's his reality, and so many kids' reality, they ultimately just need people to count on, and that they can rely on and be like, I know that person's going to be there for me in some capacity. So that's what it's about. And when COVID, hopefully it goes away at some point here soon.
Right.
My goal is to get some of these kids some experiences that they otherwise wouldn't have access to, out and about and that kind of thing. So again, that's down the road, but right now it's a virtual experience, and we'll just do the best we can with it as of right now. So I know that's a long-winded response to your question about how you can help and be a part of it, but like I said, ultimately, one day this thing is going to be gigantic in terms of the people that are, trying to be servant leaders in the community.
Sounds great to me. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Same
something, Storm?
here. Same here. Yeah, I just kind of want to turn it around to the league now.
Hold on. Before we get
okay.
to the Pacer questions, we got to take a break. We got to pay a couple bills. So we'll get right back to that Pacer thing. Hey, but one last thing I wanted to ask you about. All right, now I know your kids are up and playing college sports. I think they're both playing ball, but
Yep.
I want to know about this diversity in yachting thing that your son is doing, man.
Yes,
that
sir.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, man, he's taking a snowball, and this thing is an avalanche right now. When the George Floyd incident happened, atrocity happened, we as a family were pissed off, just like everybody else, or I shouldn't say everybody else, most people. So, and my daughter in particular, when she gets going, you've seen her out on the basketball court. Just imagine that in the house all day long. So to people, those that don't know, my daughter has passion and energy, and she rolls out of bed on fire. So that's what she's about. And my son is a little bit more. He's the calm one, but he also has a passion around certain different things. So we were all upset about that, and obviously there was a lot of momentum going on with that and the whole social justice issues, for good reason. So we talked about, okay, what are the solutions that we can kind of try to provide? What can we do about some of these things that are going on? How can we play a part and make things make a better way? So my son is a super outdoorsman, loves to fish. To this day, he's a collegiate scholarship athlete, scholarship basketball player for Grace College. If you ask him right now, you want to go fishing or play ball, he's going to say, let's go fishing. So that's what he loves to do. And all throughout his life, people have see him as an athlete. They view him as an athlete. When they find that he's an outdoorsman, they're like, man, these things don't go together. The two of these don't go together. And in large part is because of, societal stereotypes and how you project on people and what the visual looks like. And he doesn't quote unquote, look like a fisherman or an outdoorsman. So with that in mind, he wanted to try to provide an outlet for this demographic, or not this demographic, but this industry, and really provide an outlet to the inner cities or diversity and inclusion, and really just make it quote unquote okay for Black kids to want to fish, or even know what fishing is, or know what boating is, or know what some of these other things are outside of basketball and football and whatever other stereotypical things the inner city kid is supposed to do, or Black kid for that matter. So it's called Journey for a Cause, and he's already partnered with this huge boating company. They're donating a boat to him, and for the cause, he's going to go down to southern Indiana, get on this boat, and make a number of different stops along the way until he gets down to Navarre Beach. And really, again, it's just trying to create some access, some awareness, and really wanted to support some organizations that are really behind the cause of diversity and inclusion.
That is dope. Make sure you get in touch with me when he starts that, because I want to make sure we put clips and stuff up on the pages about that, man, because that's pretty hot. But before we break off, I want to tell this story. You probably don't remember it, but once I get going, you're going to remember this story. So this is the first time that I really met you. So it was the summer where the 8th graders were coming into the high school, and they were playing that 1 month in July where they take away all the AAU stuff shuts down, and they have that 1 month of high school where they like spar, so to speak. These little all-star, not all-star, but these little tournaments, so to speak, between the high schools.
It's the month of June,
right. So Mac was playing with the Carmel team. She didn't even play with they skipped the whole freshman deal. She was playing with the JV and the varsity mix. So she's playing with the head coach and the varsity team, right? So that's when the first time I really got to see your daughter Kiera play. Wow, man, did we miss her defense and leadership this year? Woo, we had a great year, but woo, I can tell you, we'd still be playing if she was there right now. But that's the first time I got to see her play. But I don't even know what the situation happened. But something happened. We were up like 15 points, but that was beside the point. And he was like, yeah, it's principle. They held up the game because he's arguing with the referee. I don't even remember what the call was about, but this was hilarious. So we got all these people in this gym. We're over at Ben Davis, I think it is.
BD,
we got all these people in the gym. It's loaded. Eddie's on the side. I can see Kiera over there like this. I was thoroughly entertained by this.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. Do you remember what there was a reason for?
Well, the game had just started, and yeah, I think our girls were doing well, and it was nothing about the score, but I can remember it was like 6 consecutive possessions on each end of the floor. Actually, it wasn't even about me arguing that he wasn't, or the referee wasn't making calls for our team. It had nothing to do with that. And he hit, and like that whole sideline, all the parents, like every time the whistle blew, everyone was like, "What is going on?" So finally, and I'm not one of these people, and you've seen me at the games. I'm not one of these people that's just screaming the whole time or losing their mind, because I always think to myself, like, why are these parents screaming? Like, the coach can't hear you, the referee can't hear you. Like what are you screaming for? You're just screaming like just so the people inside of your circle can hear. So I've always made a point to, like, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to wait till the gym is absolutely silent. And whoever I'm talking to, most of the time, it's my daughter. I'm coaching her up on what she should be doing out there. That's like 98% of the time. But this happened to be the 1 of the 2% of the time where I was talking to the official. But he had just run past the sideline right in front of me. And I said, "Dude, no one is here to see you." So like that's exactly how I said it. Like, just how I'm talking to you guys. Like, dude, no one is here to see you. Like, what are you doing? So he, for some reason, he felt like he was going to flex or whatever it was going to be. So he decided he was going to eject me for saying that. He stopped the game and said, "You got to go." And I was like, what? What is it? Because I said no one is here to see you. Like, all these people in the gym, no one came here to see you. Like, so you're mad, so you want to eject me for that. And so that's how that happened. And then he came over, and I guess he thought, since he blew the whistle and said that I was gonna like gather my things and walk out of the gym. So he came over there, and I was like, "Man, I'm sorry. You need more people. I'm not going. You need to go find some other people. Like, so we'll be here for a while." So that's kind of how that happened. And yeah, that was like, my wife does not think that moment was very funny.
Oh no. There were the two most not happy women.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them were not happy.
Yeah. My daughter, after the fact, was kind of laughing about it, because like you said, you've seen her play, so she's got probably a lot of me in her, and when it comes to that. But yeah, I was just like, dude, I'm sorry, you need more people. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, it was like I think it was like what, a minute and a half left in the running clock. Oh my God, it was probably a good 15 minutes. Oh, this was great. This was thoroughly entertaining.
it was definitely comical. Then my son got involved, and it was a mess for a minute. So yeah, it was. We do laugh about that quite a bit every once in a while. So yeah, I do remember that.
All right, awesome. So let's pay some bills real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little Pacers.
Yep.
Get ready to take your body to the elite level of performance. Call today to set up your free evaluation. 765-499-1005. Elite Performance, where the dream of elite fitness becomes a reality. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Shawn Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Shawn at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSPORTS1.com sent you.
All right, folks. I know that's why y'all came to see. Y'all really want to hear him talk about these Pacers. So, Storm, I know you itching. So, and we're going to try to make sure that we keep you out of HR in the morning. So Don't worry about that.
You can ask whatever you want. It's on me to answer or not.
Right. So I'm just gonna get in there. I got a few, but the first one is what do you think the biggest obstacle is for the new coach Nate and this team thus far? What do you feel like the biggest obstacles are?
I would say the biggest things and biggest issues up to this point are probably just the consistency of the defensive end of the floor. And then also, with that said, just being able to rebound the basketball. With some of these, elite teams, if you don't rebound the basketball at a really high level, or at least on par with what they're doing, it's going to be hard to win the game. So I think defensively, playing consistent defensive basketball, because I think offensively, I think they've been great. I think they've been great. A lot of guys are on career pace in terms of what their production is. They've been fantastic in that area. Only a couple spots that you can point at throughout the season where they struggled offensively, which is to be expected. You're not going to make every shot every night, so that there'll be some ups and downs there. But they've been really good there. Defensively, I think is where they've been a little bit inconsistent, and got to shore that up.
So when you say the defensive side of the ball, are we looking more on the perimeter side of it? Because, I think the interior defense is being played pretty solid with Miles. I think he's leading Gobert by, I think, 8 or 9 blocks for the total blocks for the league. And I know Sabonis is playing, I think, the best interior defense that I've seen him play since he's left Gonzaga. So do you think that it's more of the perimeter defense?
Yeah, I would say it's a perimeter defense, but I would include the bigs in that too. So you mentioned the rebounding. Domantas Sabonis is an amazing rebounder. Miles Turner is amazing rim protector. They're two of the best, at those particular skills. However, I would also include them in some of that improvement when you're talking about pick and roll defense, for example, being able to stop the basketball. Those bigs are up there. They have to slow the ball down. If not, the offensive player can really get into the teeth of your defense and wreak havoc on you, whether it's drawing fouls, get to the rim for finishes, kickouts for open threes, which is where one of the places the Pacers have struggled in terms of giving up a high 3-point percentage. A lot of that is in large part of giving up dribble penetration. That's where it starts. It's not like teams are just coming down, making one pass, and somebody is knocking down a 3-point shot. It starts off with dribble penetration. So I think Miles being down there is somewhat of a gift and curse as a perimeter player, and I've been in that situation. I played with great shot blockers. In Portland, I played with Theo Ratliff. For the Pacers, I played with Jermaine O'Neal. Both are incredible shot blockers. As a guard, in my mind, if I have one of those guys behind me, I'm going to pressure even more. I'm going to take a little bit more gambles, a little bit more risk, knowing that if I do get beat, that guy is going to go down there and cover up my mistake in some cases. But the cases that he doesn't, maybe he doesn't get to it in time, or he's there early, and now that guy kicks it to someone else for a wide open shot. So it's definitely a challenge for everyone when you're out there on the perimeter. Not to mention, you got to give some of these teams credit. There's no nights off, especially at that point guard position. All these guards can make plays. So they just got to figure out a way to make it happen. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. So I think that would be the main place where it's been a challenge up to this point.
Storm.
All right, I got another one. So the league introduced this All-Star game, and a couple of players have voiced their opinion on it. What are your thoughts on how they just kind of put it out there without necessarily involving the players?
Yeah. Well, first, I will say that the NBA and the NBPA, the Players Association, did negotiate this and talk about it, and amongst themselves, they decided to do that. But as far as the players, voicing their opinions and their displeasure of it, I totally understand. Because right now they're jumping through all sorts of hoops just to get through the season. Obviously, we know COVID is alive and well, and just to get through these games, the guys are asked to do so many different things. If they're traveling, they can't go, just be out and about as they typically would, whether it's for dinner or simple things like dinner and that kind of thing, or hang out amongst teammates. There's a lot of things that they aren't supposed to be doing as much as they were, right? So, and to keep everybody safe, that's what the NBA has kind of put in place. But now to say, we're still going to do an All-Star game though in Atlanta, that's
right.
You got the best players in Atlanta, so you open yourself up for some opportunity for guys to,
lemon pepper wings,
right?
and right. Atlanta never shut down, so to speak. You know what I mean? It was still just free, let me go do whatever I want. And you take the All-Star game away from Indiana, who is grabbing all of these things because our protocols with these functions, and we know how to host large events, we're pulling all this stuff in. So if you were going to bring all these guys together, why would you move it from a place who is known to be putting things back together? Like, we were the first to really get the youth stuff going back over the summer when the COVID stuff was in full bloom. But all of these tournaments were come here because we were on point with all of our things. So I'm a little angry with Turner. I'm just telling you exactly. That's why it's in Atlanta, because of Turner Sports.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and that ultimately this, the NBA, is first of all, I will say that I think they've done a great job of handling this. Ever since March, they shut down and then they got that going, and the bubble experience was incredible. It was amazing to see them pull that off. And, even up to this point in this season, I think they've done a great job. But from a business perspective, they definitely took some L's last year, and they're trying to get it back in some shape, form, or fashion. And I guess this is one of those. But, to your original question, I definitely understand why players might be balking at this idea.
Okay, I got another one. What do you think the Pacers need to do, in your opinion, to be a legitimate contender in the Eastern Conference Final? Not that they're not now, but at the same time, I feel like when they go against elite teams, what is that missing piece? And if you know anything about LeVert, as far as his status, any insight, if you could share that as well.
Go blue.
I hear that.
Blue.
I hear that. Yeah, I guess I'll work backwards. First of all, it's an unbelievable blessing for Karis LeVert to get traded and then have to go through that physical for this thing to even be discovered. I think if he stayed with Brooklyn, he would still be playing right now. We wouldn't know. So great for him in terms of his long-term health. And I think he's going to be a great addition once he is ready to play. He and TJ Warren are both out. And that leads me to, to your initial question is, what do they need to do? And I got to say, stay healthy. Stay healthy so we can see. Last year, that group, the projected started lineup, some people don't know, they only played 86 minutes together the entire season.
Wow.
Last year's projected starting lineup played 86 minutes together. That team ended up finishing the 4th seed last year. This year, it happens again. TJ Warren, who was last year's leading scorer, and we saw how he erupted in the bubble and what he's capable of. Now you don't have him from a scoring standpoint, and he also showed us that he's one of the premier defensive players. So I think stay healthy so we can make a true evaluation of what we really have. Now, obviously, that injury is a part of the game. That's out of our hands. But I think that's, in all honesty, one of the biggest pieces.
Okay.
So do you think we need a superstar, or because it's really hard to say, because I don't think there's a true superstar. We got a lot of good players, a lot of high level players, but I don't think we have like a star. Do you think we need a star? Do you think LeVert can be a star of that type of caliber player, or is it that we're going to continue to do this? Miami still has a star, but you know what I mean? This group effort of work
by committee,
role players.
By committee.
Yeah, and I think that's the Pacers' way, is doing it by committee with a group of guys who can really get it done, a number of guys who can go out and get 25, 30 on any given night. Traditionally and historically, they've been a solid defensive team. That slipped a little bit up to this point this year. I think they can get it back because they had the same group for the most part that they had last year. So I think they can recover defensively. But as far as a superstar, a lot of times, we haven't seen it in free agency. Guys just aren't choosing quote unquote superstars, and superstars we look at, top 10, top 15 players in the league, for whatever reason, they're not choosing Indianapolis to come and play ball. Right. So you either got to get it in the draft or you got to get it in the trade acquisition, those types of ways to get quote unquote superstars. But I will say, the team brand of basketball that they play is fun to watch. It's fun to see guys go out there and do that. And again, if they're healthy, I think there's no reason why they can't go and compete and have a real shot at that top four, those top 4 seeds in the East.
See, that kind of, I think you opened up a question for us that I know a lot of us is dying to ask. Now we know that Indiana is not a major market, so to speak, which I don't understand why, since we're the state of basketball, why we would be a major market when it comes to basketball, but they're not. And they don't come here. I think a lot of fans believe is because the organization is not willing to spend the money on the correct people when you do farm grow them and they become a good quality budding superstar, and then something happens with money or organizational things or things like that, and they leave. You know what I mean? And so we always end up having this team that's good enough to be good, but just always seems to be right there, not ready to go over that hump. What do you have on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, it's and I don't know if that it's they're not willing to pay. I don't know enough about that to say if they're willing to pay or if they're not. That's not for me to decide. But I know historically we just haven't been able to attract free agents for whatever reason. That and I shouldn't say free agents. These quote unquote top 10 players, we haven't been able to get one of those guys. I think Paul George is in that space, but you drafted him. So and then for whatever reason that fell apart and ended up trading him. But it's either going to be trade, and you also brought in Victor Oladipo, who was a guy who ended up going on to be an all-star. Domantas Sabonis was an all-star last year. He's probably going to be an all-star again this year. But again, no guys that were actually signed during the free agency period.
Storm.
All right. I got another one. This is kind of a little bit lighter. Who is your favorite pacer? Is the first one. It's kind of a two-parter. Who's your favorite pacer right now to watch? And then second, who is your favorite NBA player all time? Like, who's the one that got you playing? Who's the one where you pretended to be in the driveway, 3, 2, 1, put the shot up?
Yeah. So favorite player right now, it's probably, I'm probably biased to the point guards, but I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brogdon. I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brogdon. I love what he's been able to do. He's a guy that played with Giannis in Milwaukee a couple seasons ago. Giannis was ball dominant, and Malcolm was kind of playing off of him. So when we got here and put the ball and they put the ball in Malcolm Brogdon's hand, you didn't really know what you were going to get from a guy who was a primary ball handler and decision maker. But he has exceeded all expectations, and especially this year has been incredible. So I'm gonna go with Malcolm, and then all-time favorite. Now, I grew up in the '90s, so I'm a Jordan kid at heart. So he, I followed him in and out, had all the posters all over my wall and everything. But the only caveat to that is I don't think he's the greatest of all time.
You don't think Jordan is?
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, I'm a '90s kid, but I'm not one of these old disgruntled ones like, oh, my day and our day and their day. I think LeBron surpassed him.
Oh,
I mean, the King is nice, but I don't agree with either one of them.
Who are you going with?
Yeah.
Kobe or somebody?
I mean, I'm going with Cat, man, but I am a Kobe dude.
Who?
But I'm going with Cat. Kareem,
captain.
Oh yeah, I know the captain. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's Mackenzie's number. That's why she wears 33. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, Miles Turner.
I'm between Magic and the Big O. Like I'm between both. And then how can you not bring up the man that has 12, 13 rings?
Yeah, I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these people that's giving everybody giving them the credit and giving them the crown because they got all these championships. If you play a team sport, then obviously the championships are definitely important. I totally agree with that, but it's not the end all be all to me.
But Bill Russell was a beast because he was going against
exactly.
The players he went against.
Yeah, so the people who say Mike went 6 for 6, so you got to give it to him. All right, then with that's your argument. Then Bill Russell was running away with it.
Right, ran away with it. I think they went 8 in a row or something like that. They went 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 12 or something crazy like that. Plus, and if you go off championships, Robert Horry is the second greatest player ever.
Right. Exactly.
But looks like we got a question from somebody who's watching on our YouTube feed. Should the Wizards get rid of Bradley Beal or get rid of Bradley Beal and get assets?
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. That team, for whatever, if I were him, I'd be trying to do that if I wanted to win. But yeah, I mean, they just haven't been able to get over the hump with him. First it was him and John Wall, and John Wall had injury issues. Now you got Russell Westbrook. You definitely can get some major assets with Bradley Beal. I think he's, one of the best, if not the best, 2-guard in the league. You probably put him up there with Klay Thompson and a couple other guys, but he's right there with anybody you name.
All right, I got one that's off pacer topic. Okay, I've heard last couple of weeks, Steve Nash. Say again.
I said, bear with me. I'm still here with you.
Oh, okay. We had Steve Nash, who was talking about Kyrie Irving's skill set. So I can't give you quote for quote or word for word for what he said. But he basically said that Kyrie Irving was a better skilled player than Allen Iverson. Now, I don't think he's saying Kyrie is a better player. I just think he's meaning that he's a better skilled player, as in ball handling and shooting type deal, than Allen Iverson. What are your thoughts on that?
Kyrie is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, Kyrie is. We haven't seen a guy with what he can do with a ball and finish at the rim. Yeah, I'll probably say, Allen Iverson had a different mentality than him. You never saw AI miss games, and he go out there and get it done regardless of what was going on around him. But straight skill set wise, yeah, give me Kyrie Irving.
I agree. So I just wanted to hear somebody else agree with me as well.
Absolutely. And I know AI. I don't know him personally, but I'm saying I know him up close and personal in terms of playing against him. And one of my kids' favorite things to do is just out the blue, they'll pull up this highlight of when he hit a game winner on me. So they think that's hilarious.
As only kids can do.
Yeah. So they take full advantage of that moment all the time. But yeah, skill set wise, Kyrie is in a different stratosphere than just about everybody else.
So the Pacers, we mentioned that the Pacers actually play Brooklyn tomorrow night, but y'all won't see them with the full 3-headed monster because I think Durant is still out with this weird ass contact tracing thing they got going on.
Right.
But I think that's how y'all going. How do you think they should handle that attack coming from Harden and Kyrie? You know, obviously I think we can score on them, but how are we going to keep them from scoring where our offensive production can be useful?
Yeah. I mean, when you find that out, you need to go sit down on their bench. Because they're gonna have their hands full with Harden and Kyrie Irving together. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to ask in that team. But to your point, they give up points big, right? They're giving up 120 all the time. So the Pacers should be able to score. But with any of these great players, you just try to make it as hard on them as possible. Problem is they got a couple of them out there. So everybody's got to, in terms of their work and their commitment to moving around, communicating, it's got to be, on the next level to be able to compete with this team.
Storm, you got anything else?
Yeah, I got one more. It's real lighthearted as well. So your time as an NBA player, and maybe you can even open up to your time overseas. What's the craziest thing you witnessed that you can say without getting in trouble?
I witnessed.
Just open the door a little bit on what it's kind of like, maybe a locker room thing, or maybe something when you guys were out around the town on a road game.
Or All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I need to prepare for this one. I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not. Trust me, if I had something, I would share it with you. I'm sure there is something, but I just can't think of it right now.
It's just that getting in trouble thing that's kind of.
Oh no, I would just tell you. I would say, hey, I got something, but that's just we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah. My last thing I got is, you were only here in Indiana for, I think, a season or two, correct?
2 seasons, 04 to 06, yep.
How the hell did you end up settling here in Carmel? I mean, because you left, went and played overseas some more, yep, and a couple more NBA teams, but then I know Indiana's a great place to live. It's pretty awesome. But what got you back here?
Cost of living.
Yeah, I will say all of that. The biggest thing is, so when we first got here, the kids were 4 and 2 years old. My son was 4, Kiara was 2. And then they they had just had birthdays 5 and 3, so they were starting school. And probably, 8 months into being here, something like that, we decided that this was going to be home. There's a chance, maybe I re-sign with the Pacers, maybe I don't, but I'm going to go play other places. But we decided, my wife had made friends. We loved our neighborhood. We're in the same house that we got here in 04. The kids were in school at the time. We liked the school there. So there was a lot of different things that we enjoyed, and thought it would be a good situation for them. And, who knows where this basketball was going to take me and how long it would take me there. And didn't really want them bouncing around, especially once they started school, in and out of school for the next, I don't know, however many years. So, so that's kind of how we settled on it. And immediately started recruiting family members. So my family's here, wife's family's here. So we're here now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's
Yeah.
Who's Your Pride.
Yeah, you actually, yeah, I'm sure you saw the crew a number of different times at the Carmel games with, my son and my daughter over there. So, yeah, so
they're pretty deep. I was Mag brings a nice, without the COVID being protocol, she brings a good 10, 12 people to the game. So we're used to it.
Exactly.
Little entourage.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So we don't have anything else for you tonight, my good man. So why don't you tell the people?
One more thing.
You got one more?
Go ahead. I think you were going where I was going.
What, tell the people where they can get in touch with him, man?
Yep, where they can see him. We there.
Yeah. So with your training, you're all out, and also with the new program you got Achieve. What you tell the people how they can get with you?
Well, All Out is kind of a little bit on hold, up to right now. I do have a Nike camp that's going to be available in the summertime. That stuff will be out on like all my social media platforms. So, for Eddie Gill, I think is my Instagram. My son, his name is, as you know, is Eddie Gill also. So, got to make sure you're on the right one. But I'm pretty sure it's number 4 Eddie Gill, and then Twitter Eddie_Gill, the number 4. So give me either of those places, and then kind of you be able to keep up to speed as to some of these things that are going on, and then also LinkedIn for the business folks out there.
That's right. You are in the finance thing. We follow you on LinkedIn. We try to share some of the things you put out there. Good insight. So
Yes,
we thank you for that. So anything else you got, Storm?
No, I'm good. Just want to thank you for coming on. We definitely appreciate it. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime we can do it again, and we get a little bit deeper in the season, maybe come on and talk some more hoop.
Hey, I'm all good for it. And I will say this, you see, we are Michigan fans, so if you could ever get Karis to hop on with us, we're cool with that. But
Yeah.
I'd rather talk to the JJ because I want to know where to get these damn suits.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we pull it off.
All right, thanks a lot. We're going to let you go. We're going to finish up, and then we'll get this out on our social media. Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. So there you go. Man, great show. What do you think, bro?
Hey, I think it was great. I feel like we had good questions. I don't think he got in trouble. Everybody still have their jobs. And it was our first guest duo. So how you think I did? That was my first guest period. So what do you think?
I thought you was doing great. I know your son was having a ball.
Yeah.
Where he's having a ball, picking at you. And another one. That was great. Especially if he threw a meme up there. DJ Khaled. I'd have laughed really hard. I might have put it up on the screen. But no, hey man, that was awesome. So obviously it's time for us to do our closeout. So make sure you check out all of our great football show, but obviously I will talk about that tomorrow on the Dukes of Football. But anyway, make sure you check out all the other shows on the network. On Mondays, we got Bet Your Ass with Rafael Esparza and Dan at 7:30. On Tuesdays, obviously you have us. On Wednesday, myself and the Lion, the Dukes of Football, are hitting you at 7:30. On Thursday, our fabulous Monica P and Quantum Inspirations will be getting your mental side of things all in order. On Friday, Mr. DeLion and the Combat Zone will give you everything that kicks, hits, and spits. On Fridays at 7:30. I think we got a new pairing with my man Storm and Steven over at Super Kicking It with Steven, our wrestling show on Saturdays at 12 or 12:30. One of the two. Mid-Dune. There you go. And then on Sunday, the most hilarious person in our staff, Tommy Boy, he is bringing you all the racing news over at Checker Records, where they drive fast, shift hard, and keep the rubber on the road. So, Storm, what you got for the Eye of the Storm, bro?
Eye of the Storm, I am looking out for all the fellows. And honestly, you know what? The females as well. Because Valentine's Day is not just for the women. Wink, wink. But just a reminder to let everyone know it is coming up Sunday. So your loved ones, please do whatever. It does not have to be financial. It could be just an act of kindness. But do something for your loved ones. Shout out for Big Storm. And also, one more thing. Our brother, birthday today, Royce T. Anderson. I want to wish him a happy birthday and many more.
You better call Tyrone.
Call him.
Happy birthday, bro. Yeah, we got you. What I got for the one thought, and this has absolutely nothing to do with sports, but yeah, we're going to make sure we throw our birthday shout outs. Julian, happy birthday this week on the 13th. See you, happy birthday belated to Royce's oldest child, Elliot. He popped up, and I think he's expecting as well. So happy birthday to those guys. But this has absolutely nothing to do with the sports world. If you put Gorilla Glue in your damn head,
I saw that story.
You need to be committed. It's as simple as that. How do you have the audacity? And who is the dumbass lawyer that says, hey, let's sue Gorilla Glue for being Gorilla Glue?
How dare they do what they say?
Oh, let's read the fine print. Oh, they didn't say hair, so I can use it on hair. Dumbass. That's what I got for the one thought. So there you have it, folks. State of basketball, Big Storm, TheOne, BW Sports Hoops, BWSPORTS1. Check us out on everything BWSPORTS1.com. Holler.
Peace.
I got to find the button again. There it is.
Usually. There you go.